You know that feeling when you're standing in a kitchen aisle just staring at a wall of pans and they're all screaming non-toxic, green, healthy? It's totally overwhelming. It's a world of marketing buzzwords. So, okay, let's just cut through all that noise and figure out what's genuinely safe to have in your kitchen. Here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with the problem that's probably lurking in your favorite nonstick pan. Then we'll dive into the safest choices out there. We're also going to uncover a surprising little flaw in a kitchen classic, tackle the truth behind those super trendy ceramic pans you see everywhere, and then wrap it all up with a simple guide to help you buy with total confidence.
All right, let's get right into it with the big one, the non-stick problem. You know exactly the pan I'm talking about, right? The one that's just so easy to use and clean. But have you ever stopped to think about what actually makes it so non-stick?
It's a pretty direct question, I know, but that convenience we all love might actually be coming with a hidden price tag for your health. Let's find out what's going on. So, the whole issue boils down to this group of chemicals called PFAS. You might have heard them called forever chemicals, and honestly, it's for a really simple and kind of chilling reason. They just don't break down, not in our environment and not in our bodies. They just stick around and build up over time. And that buildup, it's a huge concern. Studies have linked PFAS exposure to some really serious health problems. We're talking kidney cancer, infertility, liver damage, thyroid disease. This isn't just a minor thing, it's a major health risk, and it's tied directly to the coatings on our cookware. This right here, this is where the danger becomes tangible. There's a specific tipping point, 300 degrees Celsius, which is about 572 Fahrenheit. Once a pan with that traditional PTFE coating, you probably know it as Teflon, hits that temperature, it can start to break down and release toxic fumes right into your kitchen air. And if you breathe in those fumes, you can get something called polymer fume fever. People call it Teflon flu, because the symptoms, chills, headache, fever, feel just like you're coming down with the flu. And while it's usually temporary for us, for pets, like birds who have incredibly sensitive respiratory systems, those same fumes can actually be fatal. Okay, so that's the problem. Enough of the scary stuff. What's the solution? Let's switch gears and explore the genuinely safe alternatives that you can feel good about using in your kitchen. First, we have to clear up a massive point of confusion. The word ceramic gets thrown around for two totally different things. On one hand, you've got pure ceramic cookware. This is the real deal, made from 100% natural stuff like clay and minerals. On the other hand, you have ceramic-coated pans. That's a metal pan, usually aluminum, with a super thin sand-based coating sprayed on top. They are not the same thing at all. So when you look at all the research, three materials really rise to the top as the safest picks. First up, pure ceramic. Because it's just clay and minerals, it's totally non-reactive. It won't leach anything into your food. Then you've got the classics, cast iron and its lighter cousin, carbon steel. They're basically just iron, and you build up your own natural non-stick surface, called a seasoning. And finally, hard anodized aluminum, which is a fantastic example of using science to make a material completely safe. And don't just take my word for it. This isn't just raw aluminum we're talking about. A special process creates a hard, sealed layer that's totally non-reactive. And here's the key part. The FDA itself confirms that as long as that surface isn't seriously damaged, it is stable and won't leach metal into your food. All right, now for a material that pretty much everyone, including pro chefs, sees as a kitchen staple, stainless steel. It is an absolute workhorse. But it turns out it has a little hidden flaw that you'll definitely want to know about. I mean, you can't deny its strengths, right? Stainless steel is incredibly durable. It can handle super high heat when you want that perfect sear, and there's no coating that can chip or flake off. It's the go-to pan for browning and building flavor. So it's perfect for a quick, high-heat job. But what about other things? Is it really the best choice for every single cooking scenario? And here's the catch. Pulled straight from a study published by the National Institutes of Health. Stainless steel isn't just steel, it's an alloy. It contains other metals like nickel and chromium. And what this study found is that under certain conditions, small amounts of those metals can actually leach out of the pan and into your food.
So what are those conditions? Well, it comes down to two big things: acidity and time. Think about simmering something really acidic, like a big pot of tomato sauce, for hours and hours. That's the exact scenario where this leaching can become a real concern.
And if you need to see it to believe it, check out this chart. It's pretty dramatic. After just 6 hours of simmering tomato sauce, the amount of nickel in the sauce cooked in stainless steel shot up by as much as 26 times compared to the control. That's a powerful visual of how much can transfer over.
Okay, so even the classics have their issues. Which brings us to the new kids on the block, the cookware that has absolutely taken over social media. You know the ones, those beautiful, colorful pans that promise they're the non-toxic, non-stick answer to all our prayers. So what's the real story?
Well, an investigation by The Guardian put it pretty bluntly. They found these trendy pans are probably not non-toxic. And, like we just talked about, they aren't even really ceramic in the way most of us think of it. This quote just cuts right through the two biggest marketing claims these brands make. So what are they made of? It's that ceramic-coated style, an aluminum pan with a special sol gel coating sprayed on. But here's the really sketchy part. The exact formulas for that coating, they're proprietary trade secrets. That means the companies don't have to tell us what's actually in them. And that lack of transparency is a huge red flag. And this is where it gets pretty concerning. Independent tests cited in that Guardian article suggest that these secret formulas may contain a whole cocktail of nasty stuff, like titanium dioxide nanoparticles, siloxanes, and even heavy metals like lead and mercury.
Okay, I know that was a ton of information. So how do we make this practical? Let's wrap up with a really straightforward guide that'll help you pick out your next piece of cookware without any stress.
Here it is, your simple 3-step safety check for when you're shopping. Number 1, look for labels that clearly say the pan is free of all PFAS chemicals, including PFOA and PTFE. Number 2, for anything with a glaze, especially ceramics, make sure it says lead and cadmium free. And number 3, if you want the highest level of assurance, look for something that's Prop 65 compliant. That means it meets California's super strict safety standards. And we'll just end with this thought. You spend so much time and money choosing healthy, organic, fresh ingredients. You read the labels on your food. Doesn't it make sense to put that same care into the surface you cook it all on? In a way, the pan you choose is the very first ingredient in every single meal you make.